Okay, we're going to continue on in the Apocrypha. This is the Wisdom of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 2. My son, do not sow among the furrows of iniquity, and you will not reap them sevenfold. Do not ask the Lord for pre-emergence, or the king for a seat of honor. Do not justify yourself in the sight of the Lord, or show off your wisdom before the king. Do not seek to be made a judge, or you may not be able to put down wrongdoing, or you may show partiality to a man of influence, and put a stumbling block in the way of your own uprightness. Do not sin against the multitude of the city, and do not throw yourself down in the throng. Do not repeat a sin, for with even one offense you are not innocent. Do not say he will consider the number of my offerings, and when I sacrifice to the Most High God, he will accept it. Do not be discouraged about your prayers, and do not fail to give to charity. Do not laugh at a man when he is in bitterness of spirit, for there is one who can humble and can exalt. Do not sow a lie against your brother, or do such a thing to your friend. Do not consent to utter any lie, for the practice of it is not beneficial. Do not indulge in idle talk in the throng of elders, and do not repeat yourself when you pray. Do not hate hard work or farming, which was created by the Most High. Do not be counted in the crowd of sinners. Remember that wrath will not delay. Humble your heart exceedingly, for fire and worms are the punishment for the ungodly. Do not exchange a friend for an advantage, or a real brother for the gold of Ophir. Do not fail a wise good wife, for her favor is worth more than gold. Do not ill-treat a servant who does his work faithfully, or a hired man who is devoting his life to you. Let your soul love an intelligent servant. Do not defraud him of his freedom. If you have cattle, look after them. And if they are profitable to you, keep them. If you have children, discipline them. And from their youth up, bend their necks. And if you have daughters, look after their persons. And do not look too favorably upon them. If you give your daughter in marriage, you will have done a great thing. But bestow her on a man of understanding. If you have a wife after your own heart, do not cast her out. But do not trust yourself to one whom you hate. Honor your father with your whole heart. And do not forget the pangs of your mother. Remember that it was of them you were born, and how you can requite them for what they have done for you. Honor the Lord with all your soul, and revere his priest. Let him who made you with all your strength, and do not forsake his ministers. Fear the Lord, and honor the priest, and give him his portion, as you were commanded, the first fruits, the sin offering, and the gift of the shoulders, and the sacrifice of consecration, and the first fruits of holy things. Stretch out your hand to the poor also, that your blessing may be accomplished. A present pleases every man alive, and in the case of the dead, do not withhold your kindness. Do not be wanting to those who weep, but mourn with those who mourn. Do not hesitate to visit a man who is sick. for you will be loved for such acts. In all that you say, remember your end, and you will never commit a sin. Do not quarrel with a powerful man, or you may fall into his hands. And do not contend with a rich man, or he may outweigh you. Gold has been the destruction of many, and perverted the minds of kings. Do not quarrel with a garrulous man, and do not add fuel to the fire. Do not make sport of an uneducated man, or you may dishonor your own forefathers. Do not reproach a man when he turns from his sin. Remember that we are all liable to punishment. Do not treat a man with disrespect when he is old, for some of us are growing old. Do not exult over a man who is dead. Remember that we are all going to die. Do not neglect the discourse of wise men, but busy yourself with their proverbs. For from them you will gain instruction and learn to serve great men. Do not miss the discourse of old men, for they learned it from their fathers. For from them you will gain understanding and learn to rebuke and answer in your time of need. Do not kindle the coals of a sinner, or you may be burned with the flame of his fire. Do not start up before an insolent man, so that he may not lie in ambush for what you say. Do not lend to a man who is stronger than you, or if you do, act as though you had lost it. Do not give surety beyond your means, and if you give surety, regard it to something it will have to pay. Do not go to law with a judge, for in view of his dignity they will decide for him. Do not travel with a reckless man, so that he may not overburden you. For he will do just as he pleases, and you will perish through his folly. Do not have a fight with a hot-tempered man, and do not travel across the desert with him. For bloodshed is nothing in his eyes, and where there is no help, he will strike you down. Do not take counsel with a fool, for he will not be able to keep the matter secret. Do not do a secret thing before a stranger, for you do not know what he will bring forth. Do not open your heart to every man, and do not accept a favor for him. Do not be jealous about the wife of your bosom, and do not teach her an evil lesson to your own hurt. Do not give your soul to a woman, so that she will trample on your strength. Do not meet a prostitute, or you may fall into her snares. Do not associate with a woman singer, or you may be caught in her wiles. Do not look closely at a girl, or you may be entrapped in penalties on her account. Do not give yourself to prostitutes, so that you may not lose your inheritance. Do not look around in the streets of the city, and do not wander about the unfrequented parts of it. Avert your eyes from a beautiful woman, and do not look closely at beauty that belongs to someone else. Many have been led astray by a woman's beauty, and love is kindled by it like a fire. Do not ever sit at a table with a married woman, and do not feast and drink with her, or your heart may turn away to her, and you may slip into a spiritual ruin. Do not forsake an old friend, for a new one is not equal to him. A new friend is like new wine,